Welcome back to Lotus Chat Worldwide. Today we have Jen on the house. Hi, Jen.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. And we are celebrating episode 81 with our new topic, celebrating your progress. So, interesting topic. So I'll let Jen to, kickstart our topic. So tell me a little bit about a progress that maybe you don't really normally share too.
When it comes to celebrating progress, I know that a lot of us sometimes talk about like those really big goals that we've made, those things that we've been working so hard towards, and we're like, oh, yay, I made it. Like, I've spent months working on this,
Mhm.
I finally got it. And we celebrate like those milestones, as I call them. But
Yes.
I actually feel sometimes we just also need to focus on celebrating even those small wins. Because of the road to progress, all of those things that we do are essentially the win
Mm.
throughout it. So not only celebrating the big ones, but the small ones. So in my case, for me, I like celebrating those days when I am able to just take a step back and breathe and just
I love that.
enjoy the outdoors. So sometimes, you work that, 8 hour shift and you might not be able to get yourself out and, breathe in the air and be
Mm.
around nature or something. And those days when I'm able to take those 15, 20 minutes to just go outside into my garden and check on my plants and see what's going on with them, I feel like if I can do that every day, that is a win in itself because it takes me away from like, the computer work, the emails,
Yes.
the phone calls. And I'm like, okay. And when I touch my plants and I check on them, I feel like it just takes me out of my work zone into more of a self zone. So I celebrate all of those little small moments that I give myself when I'm
Mm.
able to. And I know that I'm trying to do better by not sitting at my desk too long and taking those necessary self breaks, which to if all of you out there, if you can resonate with that and the fact that you need a self break,
Mm.
know that I totally get it. That sometimes we get so caught up in our work that we do not take those 15, 20 minutes. But when you do celebrate it, take it all in and be like, yay, I got myself away from the computer to get a coffee or to get a snack or to go outside, celebrate those little wins of giving yourself the me time that you deserve. What about
Mm.
you, Zian? What are some small celebrations that you should be celebrating a little? I mean, small goals that you should be celebrating a little more. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally resonate with what you said, Jen. And it's beautiful because one of the small wins that I want to celebrate today with you is that I was able to take some time off doing nothing. And it might sound a little bit crazy for some people, but then I used to have this habit of constantly needing to do things. And by things, I mean action. I mean, like either I'm working or on the call or posting photos. I need to do something, otherwise I get fidgety, my mind starts to wander. But then recently, I kind of read a book about meditation and then went to a simple meditation practice, which I thought it's good for me. And from that practice, I kind of like go into this practice of just doing nothing. And by doing nothing, I literally sit there for like maybe 10, 15 minutes, drinking a cup of tea and just enjoying that moment. And to me, that is not something I always do and not something I'm used to it. And I want to do that more. So I'm celebrating myself, not labeling whether what I'm doing is productive or unproductive or whether that is good or bad. It's just as it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that, Deanne. And I'm glad you brought that up about whether it's good or bad. It's just you are doing what you want to do in that moment, right?
Yes,
You are
that's
taking
right.
the time.
Mm.
And I have one of the questions that came up for me when we decided to talk about this topic is what can prevent us from feeling like we can't celebrate our small wins? What are some
Mm.
of the things that can actually come into our head to make us think, well, it's just, a tiny thing, or it's just a little this or a little that. Why should I take time to really celebrate it if I
Mhm.
haven't got to that, like,
You're
10
actually gaining
months,
something,
yeah,
right?
yeah, actually gain something or accomplish something or big. Like we always think about it has to be big to celebrate. Why are
Yes.
we so obsessed with the big celebrations when we should be celebrating also the small ones? What gets in our head?
Um, I think what gets for me, what gets in my head is definitely my own mind. Like I would be thinking, for instance, oh, this is like it's me judging myself, like me against me. It's like, oh, that's not a big deal. You don't even need to celebrate or share that with anyone. And actually, possibly this is probably the first time that I'm actually verbalizing with you. I don't think I've actually, kind of said it because I think in my mind I was like, oh, this is such a small thing. You wouldn't even want to, celebrate it. But I guess everyone's progress and path is different, and hence what I'm going through might not be the same what everyone is going through, and hence this is my progress and this is my own little celebration. So for me, it's definitely my mind against the expectations that I have inside, which I don't know where it comes from. It could be from, I don't know, family, society, social media, all of that combined.
Oh, well said, Zian. I mean, you said two key words that I also thought about when I was, you know, asking myself that question:
Mhm.
judgment and expectation. The
Yes.
two things that can get into our heads that can stop us from celebrating those small wins, because we feel that the only way that we really feel accomplished if it is a big win, if it
Yeah.
is, that ultimate goal. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
I've spent 6 months and I still don't see, the outcome of my work. But what about celebrating all the things that you've been doing for 6 months? All the,
Yeah.
whether it's like avoiding alcohol, avoiding,
Mm,
smoking, putting more into your health, putting more time into your mental body, putting
mm,
more time, spending more time with your family, spending more time with those things that really like light you up inside.
mm.
Those are things that are worth celebrating too throughout those 6 months, and not just the ultimate goal. And I know it's, for me, um, I'm naturally somebody who loves to celebrate people around me. Like,
Oh,
I'm the person who like is like saying, congratulations, you did it. Or like if my friend says, oh, I got that, phone call back for that job interview. And I'm like, yes, we need to go out and celebrate, those type of things. Like
you're
that's
such
just,
a wonderful friend.
I mean, I think we should all like approach life in the same way about ourselves. Like if we, get that, email back that says, hey, yeah, let's meet up, and you haven't met up with somebody in like forever, that's also something to
Mm,
celebrate, because somebody thought of you and wanted to come forward to spend time with you and wanted to, partake in your company and have a moment with you. That's something to celebrate. Especially if it's somebody that you lost touch with that you wish you hadn't lost touch with. That's
mm.
a way to celebrate too. And I think when we get into expectation mode and we start judging ourselves that it's just not enough, it's not big enough, it's not, like it's not like a big firework type of
Yes,
situation.
right.
Um, it could really just kind of get us stuck in kind of mundane every
Mm,
day, it's just
mm.
another day. So Zian, what are some things that we can do so that we can celebrate those small wins? What are some things that you feel our viewers and our listeners out there can do?
Um, I think just not being afraid to share that mini progress or whatever, that progress that you're making with someone, without judging yourself. I think even like you having this topic and then me sharing with you that progress, that itself is like a celebration alone, trying to acknowledge myself for being able to do that. So I think that it's a way of kind of celebrating whatever or how far we've come, to this point. I want to also kind of bring to a part where one another small celebration that I want to share with you. So recently I have been experimenting on myself, wondering what I would feel like if I were to reduce the amount of time that I spend going into social media. So I go on Instagram a lot because of my work. And I begin to wonder as I use more and more, do I really use it for work or do I really use it for something else? And so from progressing from constantly checking, I went into 2 times a day checking. And then recently I thought, let me explore what it will feel like if I can only check my social media 1 time a day. And it's really interesting because I never thought that that small shift will have quite a huge, I would say, space. It gives a lot of space in my mind, like a lot more clarity, a lot more like I'm doing this because I want to, not because anyone kind of implies that that's the good thing that they are doing and that I should be doing that too, And it's amazing how all these um space that I'm getting from my mental, this whole mental space by not checking on Instagram and just reducing it to 1 time a day.
I can't believe you mentioned social media because that is something that I myself have realized. Okay, so I think I've mentioned this in another episode where I feel like I'm sure Zian, you can also relate to this too, where there was a period in our lives where we did not live with social media apps. Where
Yes.
there's not even like, right, an app out there where there wasn't a Facebook or a MySpace. And I know I'm dating myself by saying MySpace, or Instagram, but there was a period in time when none of that existed. And it
Yes.
made me wonder, like, how were we capturing memories and moments? We were actually in the moment. And I remember I used to have like those little digital cameras where you
Yes.
would literally wait like however long to put that little tiny thing into like a computer to see your photos.
Yes. Yes.
And that's
That's right.
all you had, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
now like I realized that there's a part of me that wants to go back to that state in time when I wasn't always photo photo
Yes.
posting,
Like
and
capturing that moment for the photo, right?
right, exactly. And I
Mm.
recently had an experience not too long ago where I did end up going on a mini like little trip, where I just decided I I am not going to post anything. I may
Mm.
take photos, videos, whatever, but I'm not going to post anything until I get back. And those days of just being in the moment and taking the photo or the video and just leaving them in my phone and not even like showing people where I was, what I was doing for those couple of days, it actually felt exhilarating. Like
Yes.
it was,
It's like
it
this
was,
sense of freedom, but I don't know how to describe it.
yeah, I don't, it's like that very private moment for yourself where you weren't
Mm.
like telling anybody what was going on. And it was just you and that person or you and that experience and nothing else. And it
Mm.
is one of those, it's a really interesting feeling because it took me back to when I was younger, when we
Mm.
didn't have these apps to post on. And it's something that I know I have to do a lot more of because I feel like when you're in the moment, you get the nuances and you get
Mm.
to not miss anything. You don't miss anything.
Yeah, and you
Even
get to
though
absorb, the
absorb
different,
it.
the sense, the sounds, the sights, the little
Yeah,
details. Yeah.
the little details become more apparent. So to all of you out there who have wanted to try it, even try it for a few days where okay, take the video, take the photo, but don't post anything. Don't even let anybody know what you're doing and see how it feels. It
Mm,
almost feels like you're
interesting.
literally just being there with yourself and with whoever, whatever the experience is. So we encourage
Yes.
all of you out there to try it. But so Zian, is there anything else that we would like to tell our viewers about this wonderful topic of just celebrating the small wins, the big wins, being in the moment? Anything else?
No, I just wanted to reach out to viewers out there who's listening to this podcast that, whatever progress that you're going through, whatever phase in life you're going through, you are definitely worth celebrating. So, and you can celebrate yourself in small ways, in big ways. It's entirely up to you. There's no standard that needs to achieve, and you can just do whatever that makes you happy. Yeah.
Absolutely. Zian, I love that's perfect way to end our episode today. So to all of you out there who are watching us on YouTube, listening to us on our Spotify podcast, Lotus Chat Worldwide, thank you so much for joining us for this episode. Please stay tuned as we, come back with another great topic. And if you are not already part of our followers, please like, share, and subscribe to us, as we would love for you to be a part of our Lotus Chat community. And don't forget, we have an email, lotuschatworldwide@gmail.com, if you want to send us some topics that you would like us to talk about. And of course, the comment section below. We love hearing from you guys. So we definitely will see you in our next episode. So take care, guys.
Take care.